Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. We'll begin tonight's meeting. I'd also like to say welcome to all of the members of the public that have joined us here in person in the North Annex. Also want to recognize and thank those viewing online. Thank you for your interest in what your city government is doing. We'll begin tonight's meeting with a prayer, and then we'll move into honoring our flags. Pray with me. Our Father in heaven, thank you for the blessings you give us each day, not the least of which blessing us with the opportunity. We are called to order. Here, thank you, Ms. Knight. Appreciate that. Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, next is the agenda as it is noted from Mayor Pro Tem Bryant, second from.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Motion for approval of the and the vote is unanimous. Motions. We have the minutes from the Thursday, June 2nd, 2022 meeting in your packet. If you've had the opportunity to review those minutes, are there corrections or additions?
To approve.
Motion for approval of the Thursday, June 2nd minutes from Commissioner Casal, second. Recognition of visitors. Again, want to thank everyone for with a vote of 7 in favor and 1 abstention. Many of you are here for presentations that we're making to some of our wonderful friends. And many of you are here for an item on the agenda related to property tax issue. I just want to let you know that we do appreciate you being here. We look forward to hearing technology and to share with us. We have Public Works Director and Commissioners.
It's my great honor to thank you, Mayor Clovis. Supervisor of the quarter is Mr. Daniel Mays. Would you like to come up here, Daniel? I can say a lot of good things about Daniel, and I can say a few bad things about Daniel.
No.
But we're going to keep it all good tonight. Daniel is a wonderful employee for the city of Clovis. He's a veteran of the city of the last Mark Hill are doing a great job of keeping the review system going and flowing. He's a very, very loyal employee. I don't think that Public Works would be the same without him. Anytime that I ask him to do something, he always says yes. He's always there for anything we need. He's very opinionated, and that's a good thing in Mr. Mays. He'll tell you the way it is, and that's what I like to see in an employee. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. If something's not up to his standards, he'll let you know. And I appreciate everything he does, and he's a great asset to the city. Thank you, Daniel.
He's an expert. On your hand, you the clock. I want to make my way down here, Pro Tem. an opportunity to make any comments that they wish to make as well.
Thank you, Mayor. I can say a few good things and bad things about Daniel also. Now, Daniel, thank you for your service to the community and to the city. It's kind of rare when some employees last this long at the city, and it's a good thing for us that you're there. So you understand your service. We've worked together, and you're just an amazing guy. Well deserved.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Daniel.
Congratulations.
Burrows, are you going to talk to us about Mr. Hewitt?
I am, if you would let me, Mayor
All right.
Pro Tem Commissioners.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening to you all. So, as you know, we've had a couple of interesting years trying to keep in contact with the public while we were shut down. And as a result of that, on top of that, we lost our Paul Nelson, who had been the IT director for many, many years in December of last year, and Stephen stood up to the plate and became the interim director for us, a new IT director who then left, and so we now have Mr. Rickman. So Stephen, throughout this whole thing, has been stalwart, professional, helpful, always had the best attitude, and has just been a real boon to me and the IDS work and all of this other video work for us. So just wanted to
Thank you.
thank you, Matt.
Well, thank you, Ms. Burrows, and from my perspective, well deserved. Mr. Hewitt is just a professional and a great guy. Always takes care of us here with our sound and our video and all those things. And I think it's fascinating that he can say, and he has proof that he's driven every street in town. Right? I mean, because is it robotics? Robotics. And so I think that's something else. And he's just a quiet professional. I found myself right after I was elected, I found myself having to sit in this room all by myself and conduct meetings over Google Meets and all of those things. And he was in that room in there making sure I had what I needed to do that. I also found myself having to do videos and address the public about things that none of us knew what was going on. And he pointed the camera at me and was always very encouraging. Although he never gave me critiques on what I was saying, he just let me say what I wanted to say. So, Mr. Hewitt, congratulations, well deserved. Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners, anything to
And it helps for him to be my next door neighbor. So if I have a problem,
Thank you, Stephen. We're glad you're here.
I'll remember that.
And share with us about the event you have planned this weekend.
Commission, we thank you for allowing us this opportunity to come and share with you. I have with me Pastor Grimes and Pastor Dawson and Dr. Yancey, who is a part of our committee who is hosting our Juneteenth celebration this year. This year we'll be hosting on June 19th, that is Sunday, at Potter's Park from 10 a.m. They have provided for us during this time.
You're very I'll do that in just a moment, but I certainly would like to give anybody else the opportunity to speak that they would like to. Every Sunday from 10 to 4 at Potter Park. I've of course, communicated with you, and I plan to be there and looking forward to it. Let me share the proclamation with everyone. Whereas 2022 is the 157th year of Juneteenth Freedom Day, a national in Galveston, Texas, with the news that the war was ended, freeing the enslaved. This was 2.5 years after President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which became official on January 1st, 1863. And whereas in order that we as a city, state, and nation may never forget the harsh treatment and injustices blacks experienced under slavery, and whereas today, June 19th, celebrates African liberation from tyranny and achievement, with the theme Celebrating Freedom. The celebration will include entertainment, informational booths, free swimming at 2022, and great celebrating Freedom Day. Therefore, I, my city as mayor of Clovis, and on behalf of the commission, I do hereby proclaim all citizens of Clovis to recognize and celebrate the 157th year of this nationally recognized commemoration, which honors the history, legacy, and culture of African Americans. city to Captains Miguel and Maria Ibarra, faithfully a number of years now, and I know that Commissioner Casals is
Yes, Maria and Miguel hit the road running when they, Ernie, shall call on the ambassadors. Well, Maria and Miguel, and the only reason that they're leaving is because lack of medical care that they need. So I am sorry to see them leave, but they're going to Oregon, which is their hometown, and
I have to agree with Commissioner Casals' comments. I can't say that over the years I've always known who that captain of the Salvation Army is, but we've known that since you at all the chamber events, the ribbon cuttings, all of those things, and have seen you at these meetings frequently. You truly are wonderful citizens, and you've been a blessing to our community. And I know that you've served faithfully, and the Lord's blessed you while you.
My wife and I, and it's because we feel the love, and you know, being working in this community with so short time, it's only 4 years, and we were expecting to be here for us. Most of the time, it's been up and downs, but for us it was up and up and up and up. So I really appreciate that for that support and everything that this community did for us and for the Salvation Army. And my wife is gonna share with you. She has a little gift for every single one of you.
He already appreciated all you, but I you know, it is that, and I thank all of you for that and your help and your support. And then I wanted to just leave you some. I wish I had for everybody, but at least for our very meaningful for us every Christmas.
get away.
Well, thank you for those member, as you have said. So thank you, Commissioner Stenhouse. Any comment to add?
No, I think I'll,
Okay,
I can.
very well. Mayor Pro
These organizations and you're very, very valuable to the city. You always know you have a home here in Clovis. Thank you.
We are having a farewell party at the chamber in the museum on the 23rd of June from 3 to 5, and the pub.
I'm going to give you the key to the city. We reserve that for people that are going to display this somewhere. And remember Clovis, certainly. And we hope that to remind you that you made this home because of your service here, and you can come back whenever you're ready because you've got the key. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
This time to United Way Director. I will need help from a lot of people because I don't know how to appropriately talk about how amazing she is and how much she means to the community in her service through United Way and otherwise. Aaron Birch is just an incredible servant. I know that over the years I've come to just know that if someone needs help and they're in my office or I've met them on the corner or wherever, of Eastern New Mexico, and we couldn't let this milestone pass by. I would like to make comments. With that said, is there anyone else?
And for the citizens and anybody that needs help, that goes through United Way, you make an effort to do everything you can to help them, and we appreciate that. Our community appreciates it. Thank you.
And it's pretty hard to pinpoint exactly what your help to others.
Every time your name comes up for me, I always, the first word, the first thing that comes to mind
for me is passion and service. And to me, you define passion and service. And so for that,
in this town, and you're available 24/7 to them. And I just want to thank you for that, because without you, our community couldn't do it.
Thank you, Aaron, so much. Until I
for everything. I didn't also realize, like Helen said, how much United Way had an impact on this community until I started serving, and it's powerful.
Ms. Burrows, would you like to?
If I may.
Yes, please.
Aaron and I worked together for these 20 years, and I so appreciate you. Served on the United Way board for 6 years. We've been dear friends all these years, and I miles an hour and feel always there ready to help, and I can always rely on you, and I appreciate you, Aaron. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Ms. Burrows. Wonderful. Would anyone else like to speak to Aaron's 20 years of service?
15, 17, Ashton, are we still doing that?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
Just with you.
Okay. Thank you so much for just a few minutes of your time. I became acquainted with Aaron just as soon as I began working at the Civic Center, and from the first she was like, "Come on, let's go." Through every tragic event that I can remember from the past decades, from the forestry shooting to the hurricanes to the tornadoes, you're a better person when you're around house fires to folks needing help getting their rent paid or a new water heater. Aaron Birch is the person that was right there at the forefront. What can we do? Okay, you guys don't know. Here's what I think we should do. And I love it because I get to spend time with Aaron. I get to be around her, and I get to be a part of that light. So this is such a huge honor. Thank you guys so much for what you're doing to celebrate Erin on her 20 years of service as the executive director at the United Way of Eastern New Mexico. She is just truly an amazing asset for this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Steve. Appreciate that.
Air Force brat and moved all over and went to Eastern and got married and moved away. Didn't life and I ever got to experience. And it was so amazing to me that after, you know, a little bit of time being the United Way director means that you meet all kinds of people, and you know that I knew the city commissioners and I knew the owners of this and the level. And, you know, that's a blessing. And United Way, we've had a lot of, I knew they were going to do something, but I didn't know it was because of that, because of the way this community is. And I thank all of you today.
Well, we're honored, and we thank you for being here. And we wanted to recognize the body of work, the body of service, and recognize your 20th anniversary in the role, but we in no way wanted to imply you're going anywhere. we just, but we just think that because you have served the city so well and continue to do so, that it's only fitting that here's next, or excuse me. Okay, calm down. Aaron made me a little bit emotional, maybe. So we'll move out of presentations and into receipts of petitions and communications. Are you going to in the agenda?
Thank you.
So I'm really excited to have this chance to come and give you a little update. I wanted to do so because last fall, the mayor's ball was held. It was a wonderful party, a great fundraising event, and United Way chosen as one of the recipients. Okay, so in your paper here, I just want to say that Reality Check Day, which is our financial literacy and
that is gonna come back. So we are super excited that this fall we'll be bringing that back to our area schools. We performing this full day exo plea. It's a great activity. The kids get so much out of it. My adult volunteers get so much out of it. They just go, they love hearing kids say stuff and know that a light bulb just went on. So that is coming. We are in the midst of our diaper drive, and I want to say it was in 17, and we're starting off really well with a $5,000 grant from Cummins Gas Engines, but we're not going to get to 30,000 with just that though. So if anybody would like to donate diapers, if you want to do that on your phone, just text UW diapers to 41444. Okay, Stuff the Bus is we'll pick that up as our school supply drive that we do every year. We'll start that toward the end of July with just a community gathering of school supplies as people are celebrating the free tax day and picking up their own school supplies. They can pick up some pencils and spirals and what have you. And that'll be August 6th. And, because you just don't know how things go. And so I reached out to Clovis schools this year and said, hey, teacher projects still of value. Have it, like a obsession with school supplies, and we just want more. But it makes it so that every school can definitely count on and be able to fulfill the needs of kids once they arrive. And so we're looking forward to that. It is a fantastic. We have 2 new projects that I kind of keep saying that it's kind of like scouting with STEM. So it is available for ages 4 to 16, and it includes playing with Legos, which I think makes everything better. It also it encourages critical thinking on Legos, and then they build a Lego robot, and they have to program that robot with the computer to do specific things. And then there's competitions as we want to grow teams in our area, and we have a grant source with the DoD. We've got 2 information sessions to recruit coaches and mentors, because as with everything, if we want good things to happen for our youth, we need committed adults to participate. came out of our thinking that gives us a chance to jump into something, the no worries wall. And we're reaching out to our local middle schools and high schools, and we are seeking to partner with them. We want to put a no worries wall in all of their middle schools and high schools, like in the nursing office. And this way, just remember when you were a teenager and you wanted to look good, smell good, be, impress your peers, and even if everything goes well, that was only that extra pressure to hit. Okay, so these no worries wall, we already have permission for 15 sites. 7 of those sites are in Clovis schools. So we are, and here to let you know that a big chunk of that mayor's wall money is going to help put these, adding no worry wall to our fundraising, and we would love it for organizations to collect items, and this needs to go on and on. And then we've also dedicated part of our website, and you can find more information at noworrieswall.org, and there's a link on there if you wanted to go and buy in bulk. So let's say you wanted to get a case of deodorant and be like, check, got my the injection from the mayor's ball, and we really appreciate that. So, and I'd stand for any questions.
Aaron, I don't have any questions, but this is one of the neatest ideas I've heard in a long time. I really love.
The public will as well. I know they will.
Well, and I gave you all a brochure on our volunteer.org, because that is, of course, the best way to connect with all of these things. Because as I just said, if we want great things for our kids, it takes committed adults to get in there and volunteer and give them time, because that's how kids spell love, is TIME. So please check it out. And we even have an app now. So if you go download Cause Connect on your phone and let it know your location, it'll connect you right to all of our volunteer opportunities in our area, and it's all free. Thank you.
Share anything they like before this commission. Let you know, I do know that several are here about the property tax issue, and I just we're going to do the consent agenda, and then we'll be on to that discussion. And I do plan to hear from anyone that wants to share with us as we debate those items.
A phenomenal job, him and his crew. I've gotten a chance to work with them a little bit more hands-on this year, working so hard on it, but Dragging Main is this weekend, this whole week actually, and I think James heading out and being here for a little while with people that are gearhead people and wanting to be a part of the community and all the fun that comes with all of the cars and if you enjoy that kind of stuff, it's just such a cool thing for Clovis to have. And I think this year's events, if I'm not mistaken, I've had people even tell me that they feel like each night has been the well, one just left, but we definitely want to invite you guys to come out to that and after tomorrow night the Food Truck Friday, which we have 10 food trucks. We've got over 10 makers out there. It's going to be a phenomenal event, and then the whole block gets shut down for from 7th to Grand for the Dragon Main block party. So and then of course Saturday they have it, but I wanted to make sure that he was recognized and that everybody knew what was happening and that everybody was invited to come. So thank you for all your hard work, team.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that.
Welcome, Mr. Forrest.
I'm John Forrest, pastor of First Christian Church here in Clovis. And I just want to mention this past week, one day, our parking lot became a shooting range. Disagreement apparently. The man pulled in a couple of cars, jumped out, and one of them fired at least 20 rounds. Thing to have happen in our community, to have it happen in a church parking lot is kind of really kind of a big surprise. But I will say this, that the Clovis Police Department came in and did a fabulous job working on that scene. I know they have made an arrest concerning the person who likely did the shooting, and a number of things. The very same day that happened around our community, there were people fired at, shot at. There was a friend of mine who was attacked by 6 young men at a softball game and beaten down pretty good. At the end of the summer, care of our public servants and take care of that stuff. Now, I also know that one of the things going to be talked about today is about the tax increase. And I have some definite opinions about that. But I think that before we spend all of our money draining a mud puddle up a Ute lake for water that's not going to be much help to us. I know that they've done a lot of studies. You guys have been involved in it, but I've been to that lake, and I just don't see it. But at any rate, they
232 Thorion Drive. You guys know me. Most of you guys know who I am. If you don't know me, you know me now. I have 2 pages, you know, page, I'm just adding on to what the gentleman here said, and I have a community group. The crime page, almost every day, there is somebody reporting a crime. I don't know if any of you guys are on that group, or we're short-handed on police. You know, they are the crime they're facing in our community really, really hard. It's scary, and there's not enough of them. Focus on our police and our city and the safety of our community before we focus on anything. Because at the end of the day, there's going to be people that are going to be killed. Thank God that there wasn't anybody killed over there at that church with the surrounding areas and how busy it is in that area. And every day there's crime. You know, I hear it every day. I get messages from it. People sitting off to the police. And
Anyone else have something to bring before the commission this evening? You know, on the Mayor Pro Tem and commissioners and members of the public, on the issue of crime and police pay and that subject, is to obviously safety departments, and we're going to continue to do that. At a meeting that maybe you tracked or did not recently, we want to approve going back a couple years ago and refreshing the competitive pay and benefits, and then we're devoting all available resources to ensuring that that is what we can do. What we can do up here as policymakers. There are PDs all around the state that are understaffed because that's a tough profession these days. That is doing a great job now. We haven't has closed the gap on then I think that we all feel, and I know the city manager certainly feels that he is the right man for the job, and there are the police department is full of highly qualified, exceptional individuals that are great at their job, great professionals, love this community, and they're doing a great job. Eddie, that for decades now has discounted life, that has discounted the family unit, fatherhood. God from everything. something wrong, report it. Don't put it on Facebook. Call the PD and report it. Clovis is better than some of the crime, public safety, and I believe. Thank you. Anyone else have something to bring before this commission this evening?
Just say we'll say, Mayor.
We will. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. We'll move on to the consent agenda, commissioners. As you know, this item is placed on the consent agenda so that the commission, by unanimous consent, can designate those routine agenda items that they may wish to approve or acknowledge by one motion. If any motion or if any proposal does not meet with the approval of all commission members, or if a member of the public so requests, that item on the regular agenda. You have 11 items there. The first is the motion to place the 11th is the motion to approve or acknowledge. Three is request for approval to award RFP 22-0303-1 between the City of Clovis, City Attorney Services to Harmon, Barnett, and Morris. Item 4, request for approval of annual professional services contract 0406-4 citywide mowing to Deco Incorporated. Item 6, approval to award ITB 2205-2405 citywide landscaping to Deco Incorporated. Item 7, request for approval to apply for an acceptable award of the FY22 State Homeland Security Grant Program application in the amount of to serve on the Water Policy Advisory Committee. Item 10, request for approval of noise variance for Let Freedom Sing event at Colonial Park Golf Course. Commissioners, that is your consent. I would now entertain to approve or acknowledge all items. Approval of items from Commissioner Casal, second from Commissioner Garza. Commissioner, please vote. Commissioner Jones, your vote, please. Thank you, sir. And the vote is unanimous. The motion is carried. The agenda is approved. We'll move on to introduction and adoption of resolutions and ordinances. 4 items there this evening. Items 1 through 3 are really related, and I will hit on that in a moment, but we are, of course, taking them one by one. I 100% respect that and understand that. And you'll have the opportunity to speak and share your thoughts, or perhaps even the ideas that you have instead of what's in front of this commission this evening. But I wanted to provide just a little bit of background on how it is that we're where we're at with this, and maybe more importantly, or certainly more importantly, why. So in 2019, your city commission and mayor at the time passed a resolution related to construction funding for the on our Ute pipeline project. And that resolution was an interesting one, and it has us here discussing it this evening because it was a win and if type resolution. And today it amounts to the Ute pipeline project at a certain point. And I said it was kind of a win and if thing. There are two triggers. And I know that there's enough in what I just described. I want to hear from you. We want to hear from you. But I just wanted to point out that that's what we're looking at this evening, because those triggers that I talked about, the 40 million from the Fed, the 30 million from the state, have occurred. Funding is coming in for this project, and it is put aside maybe just a on its face opposition to a property tax or whatever, and just talk for a minute, and just for a few minutes, and talk about why we need to even work on water. And that is the Ogallala Aquifer, which is our groundwater, is in decline, and that isn't news. That it's been in decline to pump water time. So it's completely appropriate that we would be doing things to address that. We have evidence of the decline. We don't just have people tell us that. There's evidence of that. I spoke with the vice president of EPCOR yesterday. We used to do. We're actually doing less than what 40 used to do. Okay. I would say they have a really good handle on what's happening with our groundwater, because they have all those wells around the area, so they know what's happening with the water in a lot of different places. And when I talk to them, they're confident telling me that they're keeping up with demand. If you've tracked the city commission lately, I believe it was at the last city commission meeting, we renewed our support of a local land trust, water and land conservancy that has been established with part of the 2017 water assurance plan. It was determined that there is an area out in that northwest of Canada Air Force Base where there is being worked on to stop that pumping. So that's the good news, and it is good news. The bad news is that after the wells were in, what people talked about just a few years ago, as it was identified, and so that underscores the need to do something about water. And I don't share all of that to incite fear, to bring you to a certain side so that you'll support a property tax. I share that with you because sustainability. I need us all to earlier tonight. He's part of the team that cleans up the wastewater at the city's wastewater treatment plant, and that water is brought back to town and used to water parks, and now it's watering our golf course. Why do we do that? Talk to EPCOR regularly. Their peak demands are coming down. Their average daily demands are coming down because individuals are conserving, and that's a good thing. And individual conservation is important, but do enough of that to addressing this. In 1959, construction on the dam began, and the construction was completed in 1963. The reservoir at Ute Reservoir is owned by the New Mexico Interstate Stream Commission, and it exists for the purpose of providing supplemental drinking water to eastern New Mexico. Originally, it included so many members, so many cities that they were looking at coming on the eastern New Mexico in the water. At this point, there are 4 and that entity has one mission, and it is to construct the Ute Pipeline project. And we do that with grant funding from the federal government, the state government, and in 2009, the project became federally authorized. The federal government authorized the Eastern New Mexico rural water system. And that meant that we could 1510 breakdown on the funding is expensive, but I want to point out that 90% it's a 90% grant on our money, and Clovis is the leader partner in this effort. We always have been, and we will continue to be, and we ought to be. We're the largest population of 16,415 acre feet to the 4 member communities. Clovis served, and I want to take a moment and just point out what EPCOR is delivering to residents of Clovis right now is between commission decided that. And however, it is, I think, absolutely appropriate and needed that we would discuss that now. And so that's why we're talking about it this evening. A couple of things have changed since the 2019 resolution. One is we have a new updated cost to complete. And so we know that the 10% local match is, we knew it was going to be more than the last estimate, but now we know fees for our allocations, how we're paying the operation and maintenance fees that the ISC is charging us, and how we are paying our Eastern New Mexico water utility dues is through, if you look in the city's budget, it's Fund 66. It's affectionately referred to as the U-Water tax. The U-Water quarter percent, right? So we are using gross receipts to inject a lump sum into this, and so so they came up with the plan that they did then. Again, we're discussing it here again this evening. A couple of things have changed. One is the updated cost to complete. Two, we have a lower financing option than they were anticipating in 2019. They were calculating using a bond strategy to come up with the money, and a bond would have been more expensive than what we have found at this point, and that is the state's that is item in this agenda. So item 2 in the agenda is service the debt. It deals with how, if approved, we would service the debt from a gross receipts tax with that currently funds our general fund and goes in and funds our operations. It's a tax that was enacted 40 something years ago, and it is dedicated to fire and police. We would use that tax to make the loan payment, and if approved, the property tax would reimburse our gross receipts tax, keeping the general fund, keeping the fire and police funding whole. So that is the strategy that we have. What can we do? How can we do this? And so we are where we're at. So why do it? Injecting the $15 million right now would keep our membership dues to the authority more manageable from that quarter% gross receipts tax that we currently use to the water authority building a finance. Why else would we do it? The city made a commitment to do it. Our dues to the million in our due structure going forward. And as the leader in the region, we would be making an investment in our future sustainability, and don't forget, I mean, we're getting 90% for the 10% that we put in, and I would ask, you know, what is our property worth? We fund the U pipeline efforts through a 1/4% gross receipts tax. We're leveraging that good thing that happens when somebody comes in from outside of the community and spends money in our community and incurs gross receipts tax, and that's helping us. But because water sustainability is so important, the question, because water sustainability is so important, would it also be appropriate for property owners to take a little bit? Proposing, again, I mentioned, so still a property tax. If you're opposed to that on its face, this doesn't help you, but it's less, and I pulled out my own property valuation statement, and yeah, 33.3% of your full value. So you're taxed on a third of your home's value. So, and because we're proposing 1 mil, this is easy to think about, because 1 mil means you would pay $1 per 1,000 in taxable value, $66 annually, added to our property taxes, and then I went and looked, and the average home, this is census data, the average home in Clovis, New Mexico, the value was but $132,000 a year. You would need $300,000 in taxable value. And so, and if my math's right, that'd be a $600,000 home. Okay, so that's so just so that we have some foundation for the discussion. The need is real. The project is viable, and we can talk about that for anybody that wants to talk about that. And the impact is relatively low, certainly lower than some of the discussion we've heard in the last few days in buttons. So, and their decision could literally impact future generations in Clovis. And so it's a blessing and a curse to have this kind of thing to decide. Nobody wants to raise property taxes, but water sustainability is a must going forward. I'll pause there. I'd like to, a lot of times I'll ask them, okay, usually the one that does it.
Let's hear, if you're here
Any
to share your mind with us on this,
questions?
let's hear from you.
Okay, not at this time.
Let's get, uh, let's get questions asked and answered if possible. Sir, please come forward. We'll need you to state your name and address for the record, and then we'd love to hear.
Base utilities engineer for Cannon Air Force Base. And one of the interesting things was that I had to keep track of, the water statistics that came from our wells and the wells. And one of the interesting things is Phil V. Heel was the water supervisor at the time. I don't know if he still is. And so the water is dropping. And one of the problems we ran into is we're at the very edge of the aquifer. And even if the best conservation efforts by the people here in the state of New Mexico were, to conserve water as best they can, the problem is that the aquifer extends into the other states, and basically it would require an effort for cities to used to be, and then now there's ghost towns. And my concern would be is that in the future, Clovis, we might up becoming a ghost town because one of the things you do need to maintain a society is water. And without water, we can't maintain society.
Yes. That is a renewable source that we can be connected to, and it's never been intended to supply all of our 100% of our needs all of the time, but to be able to use it as a supplement, and as we do, we rest the ground wells here. Being here to share with us, please give your name and address for the record.
I'm Gerald Bailey. I'm from Clovis. I live on Clovis in 1947. I have lived here forever. I have been an irrigation farmer forever. And I was raised up out at Ranchville, north of Greer, on that water line that you're talking about, that aquifer. Okay. I realize that we help everybody in the community.
The city of Great Clovis has a question, and if I may answer it, as I mentioned earlier, people are paying a sales tax, essentially, that they're paying. And that fund is the majority. We're before this is done, we will have upwards of $50 million in this. Yeah. We're asking for $15 million from property owners. The other 36 is going to come from the gross receipts tax. So we do have everyone slow sometimes. I may need some help understanding that. So, you, for one thing, the lake water will not be used for. We're gonna use it for municipal use only, and some potentially industrial.
Conservation that we create because of that will allow more water to be used by the people in the neighborhood outside of the city of Clovis.
And I appreciate that, and that is a tough one, and I would love to hear ideas. I mentioned the land trust effort. We are
the community because I did not want my specialty crops in one location because of hail damage. I could lose everything I had because I had a little 1.5, maybe 2 million was a contract in this holly with Albertsons out of Plant City, Florida, and I was selling them upwards close to 500 semi-loads of seedless watermelons each year. I employed 65 employees. I scattered my farms 15 to 20 miles apart all over this county, including into Palmer County, and my packing shed was in Bovee. Enjoy the fact that we are conserving water. It's not my responsibility. It hurts me. It's just that it's not just my responsibility, nor the citizens of Clovis's responsibility to pay that bill.
and I appreciate that, and I think you're describing. I agree with you. It's a struggle. To put it plainly, are you 5% of it is municipal use. The other 95 is agricultural.
Right.
So when we stop pumping so much for municipal use, that doesn't conserve a whole lot because we're only at 5% draw on the aquifer as it is. But I hear you. It's everyone's issue. We've got to stop the
circles at 140, 20 acres each of sugar beets, producing anywhere from 30 to I'm a sugar producer, and I was it for 30 years a pretty major sugar producer for Holly Sugar, and then Imperial bought Holly Sugar out, and then they bankrupted the company. Well, that's whenever I slipped into the produce business because I knew how to increase the sugar content plant every 12.3 square feet so that I could grow a 6 wife's hands and it fit in the refrigerator. If you grow it too big, you can't sell it.
You have provided us with some wonderful information that we wouldn't have expected. That's fascinating. It really is. You mean not just Clovis.
I'm talking everybody that consumes anything in this city.
Okay.
All right, we're talking Van Deucens. They pump a lot of water. They pump more water than I ever did per acre because they raise a corn crop, they chop it, they raise a wheat crop, and they chop it in 1 year. I never did that because my requirements was that I had 600 gallons per minute per circle. And it had to be good land and good water. And it had to be a good sprinkler. And anyway,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
I paid $225 an acre cash lease on 700 acres a year.
Paying back the taxes. So, yeah, but the county sales tax, because that gentleman's tax, that more than just property ownership, people shopping, coming in from other areas, also sharing that. But you have to say, we just took a hit on county taxes. So, more taxes, it's hard. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Forrest. Yes, sir. Please. Name and address, please, sir.
Jamie Floyd from 1701 Arbor Drive. Mayor.
I can guarantee you
Florida, they pay taxes where it goes to a certain project. And the project is so complete. If you want more money, you have to go back to the citizens.
Mr. Morris, how is it drafted?
That's a fair question, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. So the way it's drafted now, eliminated with another resolution from the commission.
Yes, sir. Thank you for the question. Appreciate it. Yes, ma'am. Almost couldn't see you there behind the podium. Name and address.
And Cindy DeFrancesca. How much more would you make from that?
I mean, we have those estimates, but the short answer is that's on the, I mean, that's why we're having this discussion. Everything is on the table. The challenges we have is that we have other challenges that we have to rise and meet and try and take care of, such as the rising cost of minimum wage. And when you're an organization of 400 employees, that's a big impact to the organization. So, you know, we have other needs that we have to think about too, and it's tough. It really is. But we know that we'll need that quarter for something else, you know, and we already have the quarter that is helping.
Why is there
I would need, if you will,
I don't understand.
we have about a quarter left, and that would be the maximum per state statute. We already have a quarter
The water is not as important as the other stuff?
We're asking the residents of Clovis to consider helping make sure that we have that water through the property tax.
So how do you get the state to of it? I mean, what is that?
And again, we're leveraging that concept and those benefits through the quarter that we have existing that is going to pay 75% of this cost.
Right.
15 is I mean, these are big dollars, but we're talking about asking for 15 from the residents of Clovis, from property owners in Clovis, so that the quarter can pay the other 36 million or so between now and 2036. It's
Okay. Well,
so that we get more and more out of a 1/4% gross receipts tax. But as is, that 1/4% is, I think it's going to be a very close call as to whether or not that 1/4% will sustain the membership dues increases to the Water Utility Authority over the next several years. It's close. It's close. But again, we're doing things to try to grow the economy and recruit business here so that we get more money spent here at home and grow the economy and have more come in from those things. I mean, again, it's the question, we're leveraging gross receipts to pay for the majority of the project that's been in place. The question is it appropriate at all? And you can see that Clovis has water problems, and so we answer that objection all the time, right? Like, no, we're addressing that, and we are.
right.
You know, you heard me earlier say that EPCOR confidently states that they're going to meet demand, but the system and I'm confident that we can reach sustainability and answer that water sustainability question for a reservoir. It exists. It's owned and operated by the Interstate Stream Commission for this purpose. It is the primary purpose is to supplement the drinking water, the municipal water needs of the Water Utility Authority, and the members are Clovis-Cannon Air Force Base, Dallas, Texaco, and Elida. And those are the members.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
As you can imagine. And you talked about the four entities. That money, what have they contributed on each town, each area? Do you know?
Each of the, I don't have totals for you, but each of the four members of the Water Authority are paying annual dues based upon their water allocation. Clovis is the monster member. Texaco is 250 acre feet a year. So obviously their membership dues are much lower. And you know, and then you have Portales and Elida.
I just hadn't heard anything about their contributions that they were making, financial contribution, and that's what I wanted to find. Really suffering, and they're really, after COVID, and now being hit with extra taxes, I'm going to have to raise my prices on my rents on all the properties. And I'm probably looking at about 180.
Okay. And so, 60,000 would be your taxable value. So you're looking at $60 a year for a home. Increase your rent by
Insurance is not raised, taxes are not raised. I do understand. We need the water. I like the idea of getting the water. I'm not so sure about the sustainability of Ute. Last I heard, it was in very dire straits. I don't know when the last time the commission has been up there.
I was there last Saturday, and I monitor the levels nearly daily, and it is exactly at the same elevation level it was 10 years ago today. And in the last 10 years, the lowest it has gone from where it is today is 5 foot lower than it is right now. And in 2006, okay, so the Paleo Channel effort, okay, so many years, many years, we have just engaged, and for everyone's benefit, this is a separate effort from the U pipeline project. This is a land trust that has been stood up, and so I'm speaking to that now, but that is not part of this project. There are landowners that have been engaged, and a number of wells that have been metered, and we're close to reaching agreements to 3-year agreements to start. We hope we have the pumping stopped in that area this season, but it will be 3 years before there are long-term agreements. And I don't long before
in the gross receipts tax that we could pump up and grab a hold of. Some didn't know. You're saying definitely a quarter, no more, no less?
No more, no less. Can we speak to that in detail, since I've had the question for a second time? Is there someone that can answer that in a detailed way? I believe it's
Mayor,
yeah. Oh, thank you. Mr. Howell, our city manager, is joining us remotely this evening. Mr. Howell, go ahead.
first off, I apologize for not being able to be there in person. I had family purposes there. It's really, we have spoken with the tax revenue department for the 5% we're making to this. And as you mentioned earlier, it has been alluded to in this meeting itself. You know, the city of Clovis, we're hit with all kinds of things that the state legislature put in place. For example, this couple of years ago, as all businesses recognized, was an increase in minimum wage. And so we had to bring our activities still up to that $12 minimum wage, the ones that were there. That has a ripple effect across our entire table. And so to minimize compression in our wages, as we try to do, as we try to make the city of Clovis an organization we want to work for, that cost us around $1.6 million just to implement going to $12 an hour minimum wage. You know, there's discussions of $15 an hour minimum wage. You know, we heard tonight saying, hey, you guys need to pay your public safety sector higher increased salaries. We hear all the time about you need to do X with your parks, you need to improve them in this manner. We hear that you do X, Y, Z with your roads, we need to improve those. And so there is a lot of demands being put on the city of Clovis with a piece of pie that has to be divided up in certain amounts, in certain slices. And so for us to take that full 4% and apply it and increase our gross receipts taxes just for this, I don't think would be responsible to the city of Clovis to make sure that we don't have availability to be able to make future demands. We all recognize that minimum wage should go up to $15 an hour. I haven't done the math, but what that would have on the city of Clovis' finances would be astronomical. We will be having no further resources at that time. So I think for us, you know, we do have capacity to make sure that we're smart about it and make sure that we're reserving that for those unfunded mandates that are put on our behalf. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Howell, for that explanation. So, answer to the gross receipts left to enact is 0.3.
0.3.
0.3. Yeah.
One final thing.
Yeah.
You know, just seems like I think I've heard several people come up here and ask about the different areas outside of the city. Come and contribute. Come and contribute funds. The people that are traveling from Texas over here. Why don't we try to pool money from them? Why don't we try to pool money from those that are living outside in the county and let the county help with this? You know, the truth of the matter is the county really messed over the city when they bailed out on us, but they get the luxury of coming to our restaurants or golf courses or anything
Draw from this project. I was disappointed in that, knowing that the local match, we need as much help with that as we could get. However, it's a pay to play kind of thing, right? I mean, we're not delivering we're not going to convey the surface water to this part of the region and then this has become, as it definitely has turned out, about the city, just like Cannon Air Force. Thank you, Mr. Ford.
Mayor, can I make a comment?
Yes, Commissioner.
I'll give you a break while you get a drink of cold water. I do feel like that the surrounding communities are contributing because of the gross receipts tax. Because when they come into town and they spend money, they are paying gross receipts. So I do feel like the surrounding communities are contributing to this
We
project.
could take so many calls, or I took so many calls that I have not yet been able to return everyone's phone call. There seems to be a running theme with what I perceive as maybe a misunderstanding, or we're missing a point, and I want to make sure that we understand that there's been many comments that we need to share the load and the community needs to take on, and the perception is that GRT is going to be that route. I want to remind everybody that we are indeed using GRT to do that. They are sharing the burden. The entire community is doing that. And I don't know if it's being missed or misunderstood.
Have, if you're spending money in the city of Clovis, you're paying gross receipts tax benefiting that fund. That's the fund we use for the expenses related to the Ute Reservoir and how we pay the pipeline project. So that's how we furthermore participate in the Eastern New Mexico Water Utility Authority. And so through our dues, that the funding paid through that revenue source will far outweigh the 15 million that we're asking for here to load our funding investment in this project. Far outweigh. Once paying, will feed the project.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yep. Thank you for those comments, Commissioner. Anyone else? Oh, who had their hand up first? On the left. This gentleman over here did. Yes. Sorry. I gotta keep my eyes out there and see whose hand went up first. Good evening, sir. Your name and address, please.
I'm Frank Dalton. I live at 721 West Manana. If you've been down, that kind of hit home with me. But I realize that this pipeline point is going to be done. It's come down to how we're going to pay for it. Now, water is an issue. We're on the tail end of the Ogallala Aquifer, and every year for the past, oh gosh, I don't know how many years, I can drive around the countryside, and I've spent most of my life things. And the thing is, I know money is an issue, and it's becoming an ever increasing issue. Everything's going up. Wages are going up. Gasoline's going up. We've all felt that quite a bit. And I've talked to most of you in the last couple days about some of these issues. But one thing that come up to me, I got old thinking about a minute ago, the amount compared to what I don't know where the figuring on this portion of this pipeline came from. I don't know how prices.
They are, yes, sir. We have updated
As they go, as we go forward with this, we know oil's probably going to go up. I've been reading some things that say we'll be looking at $180 oil within 6 to 8 months. So that's going to increase meat. So we're looking at this $15 million that you want to saddle the property owners with. Now, when the money that's been appropriated through funds, state funds, and then the money that we are putting forth, when that's gone, where's the rest going to come from? Are we going to be hit with another tax increase? Where is that money going to come from? Other than a few of us that are property owners, because I cost overruns, and I would sure hate to come back to another one of these meetings and have to say all this again. Thank you.
Appreciate that, Mr. Dalton. If I may, and for everyone's benefit, the cost to complete figures that we're using are new, just within the last few months, and we understand very well that we're in an inflationary period. We, in particular, with construction and Portales system there, and that is PVC. That's what that one called for, and that's what worked best there. On the 15.5-mile portion that we're out to bid on right now, and will award in September, or on September 1st. It's welded steel pipe that's proposed. Got issues there too, right? I mean, there's supply. Mr. Orlando Ortega here today, who is, he and his staff work continually on this. Jacobs Engineering is our engineer, and we meet very frequently and have examined the city, all options, but as far as what we're discussing here, really since last November, when the federal infrastructure bill was passed, and we knew this was coming, it was imminent. We have been strategizing and thinking about how to do this, and
you know, I don't know if you're aware, but I was just 7 years ago, I did a water study on the county. I was able to track thing about this whole area all the way through Kansas and everything else. And I know the county has decided to do their own thing, and Clovis is doing their own thing. The only thing that I have an issue with, and I understand we need to find a way, you know, with water, it's that right now Clovis is it's a very poverty community, you know. So the money for the extent you lake water project, right? You guys are going to take some of those funds.
The police and fire %, will be what we dedicate to make the debt service payments.
Okay.
The property tax will reimburse that fund.
Okay.
So, benefit is that we're able to, we could discuss it as though the property tax is benefiting fire and police, or we could, as well as rising to meet this challenge and seize this opportunity to move towards sustainability.
Will there be more property taxes in your future, or there could be up to 5 times?
This is, in fact, this evening, had we just adopted what they decided to do in 2019, we would be asking for more, but we're asking for less because this is what we need, or this is what's required with the strategy that we've come up with.
I honestly think the biggest problem right now with people is that the fact that people are suffering, you know, they're suffering really bad, you know, to even, we have a lot of elderly, we have a huge elderly community, and they're on a set income. And I know it's $60 for some, and it's not a big deal, but for a lot of people it is. You know, it really is. I mean, a lot of people are on a set income, and it's just my concern for the people. And I know about the bad situations in our town, and I, you know, like we said, I don't have water. I've said that, you know, the toilet detachment several times it would be a lot cheaper. It would be the pipeline, right?
Yeah, I mean, the pipeline is very expensive, but even with toilet tap, I mean, we're still pulling water out of the aquifer and then reusing it. Eventually, you run out of water in the ground, and you know, and the hope for sustainability is having a renewable source. Not, I mean, we need to be reusing, right?
Yes.
And we already are to an extent. We're getting up further, guys.
Yeah.
But it's being connected to the renewable source. And again, you know, and I'm glad that you and others have brought up that other communities, other cities around the country have become ghost towns because their water ran out. The comment that you just made about, you know, communities, you know, 10% using toilet to tap. I hadn't heard that, but you know, we are in a fortunate position
But 90%.
to have a federally authorized project that we're getting a 90% grant to complete.
So my understanding with this Lake project, a lot of people don't understand this either, that you guys are going to be going back and forth, turning off and on. Whenever the U Lake is low, you guys are going to use the well water. Is that right?
Absolutely.
So
the U reservoir is never has been intended to replace our municipal water supply and supply 100% of our need. It is a supplement. So yes, it's implied that, you know, to the extent we're taking surface water from the reservoir, we're resting a ground well here, right? And so we wind up with overall system for municipal water supply that we can use in balance.
So
There'll be some years we take more, some years we take less from the reservoir.
with the drought right now, the current drought, the lake is going to be a lot lower. So that, I mean, whenever it's low, the number, I know you had said that you guys went over there and it wasn't that low from 10 years ago, or was it the same?
It's actually the same as it was 10 years ago right now.
So with the drought going on and on and on, as we are seeing now, will we have to later on?
That studies are needs of acquisition or an actual construction. I said we're out to bid on the 15.5-mile portion that's going to go north from Cannon Air Force Base. We're out to bid on that right now, and we'll award on September 1st. And so, we are under construction. We have ramped up activity and are moving, assuming optimal funding. And I'm real careful to say this because, if I say a year, then, if we miss it, the mayor, but the 2029 is possible if funding comes in, and then perhaps delivering water in 2030, 2031 after this is okay. So we've shifted gears, and again, I want to be the public, and a lot of people get confused when I talk about the groundwater conservation effort, and they think it is in no way connected to the U pipeline project, and so I don't want you to use anyone to see what's available. And there is a land trust that is working on to keep that water out of production beginning this year and for 3 years, while a longer-term agreement could be arrived at.
Yeah,
And so that the overall, there's an overall benefit to us all if groundwater is conserved in the region. But there is not a plan of connecting that to this at this point. But I mean, it's implied. I mean, someday, but
40, and I'm sure there's probably more areas that are dry out there. I just wanted people to know how serious this was. It's a pretty serious thing, and I think a lot of people don't understand how everything works. That's why I asked you some questions. So you could explain everything to everybody. I know we have to find a reliable source of water, and I know we have to do it soon. I mean, it's coming. And everybody else, I think that's what it is. And it made people, and that's all my stance is on it. And it would be nice. And I know that waiting is hard for you guys to do, but it's just, I understand that we as a community are suffering, from COVID and everything else, and extra money really hurts people. That's all. That I think that's what basically people's worry is at this point in time. But the property owners.
Prices no one can afford. People are out of work. I have thought of even back in 2019, I feel like we need to honor our word that we have committed to the water authority.
Else. And
Oh, absolutely.
I know some landlords are going to up that, even though, you know, maybe not by a lot. They're going to have to up it enough to be able to offset that cost. And we already have high rent prices already, you know, and things like that. See, renters don't understand that they're going to be affected by this. And I wish more people would get involved in city government and understand city government. And I think I've told Mayor Morris in the past, I think the biggest thing we need to do is educate the community as much as we can about how city, you know, and get more people involved. You know, that's all I have to say.
Appreciate your comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Mayor Rumfield.
Water situation. Thank you so much, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. It's good to see you tonight. It's late, and I know you're tired, and I know you've heard all kinds of things. I just want to say, first off, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for trying to figure out. It was amazing absolutely what you learned, and that we have to have it. It is a sustainable piece. It just is. And everybody's, you know, a lot of people think that it's just going to be impossible, and even to get it built and construction. And I want to compliment you, Mayor, and anyone else, or Mr. Ortega back here that actually, you know, I mean, there's so much funding coming in now. It's amazing. We would go beat on the doors constantly, and now to see that that's coming to have water. My properties, Mr. DeFore's properties, will be worthless. We don't have to worry about the $6,000 a year that all 100 of his properties would raise, because there's no value there. And I appreciate everybody's hard work. And Commissioner Bryant, I was sitting back there thinking about, oh, by the way, welcome aboard, and you to any place else, you're going to be paying for it. The property tax, you know, I hear all the time that we have water issues, we have community crime, and it is one that served for many years in your capacity, and as a huge supporter, and I absolutely want to see that project done, because it is our shares. They knew they had to do that, and when I talked to the police, they also get water from Meredith, from Lake Meredith. And when Lake Meredith got really, really low because of droughts, they quit pumping it. And they went to their groundwater or Lake Allen, Henry, whatever you do. You have to look at all of the angles. And I remember when I was So I encourage you to vote for this, and I do feel, I know it's hard, you know, and I can tell you that inflation goes up and down, markets go up and down, and we have to do this because we need water. And that's, in my opinion, the most pressing thing that we have right now. So I encourage you to support it, and I appreciate all of your hard work, and hang in there. Thank you.
Yesterday, I took a number of phone calls, which I'm sure the rest of the commission did as well. Most of my day was spent on talking to citizens and addressing this situation. And when I hear them, I heard them, and I understand the frustration with everything, you know, prices increasing and things like that. And this is a future. That's why I want to get this done and have this project done within 10 years. Thank you.
I was thinking, thank you for those comments, Mayor, being encouraged to think about the effects on people that will feel that would feel an increase that you may approve this evening. And I agree with Commissioner Paula. Sleepless nights, worry. I appreciated the comment from Mr. And set the vision. You have to deal with what's happening right now, but if we do it right, we keep an eye on the future too. You know, we've got current challenges, current issues, but we must also keep an eye on the future. And, you know, this project, once completed, and but it's a unique opportunity that you have to make a hard decision, and we've got to go share the grocery store aisle and everything with people that aren't happy about us doing it. If you were to approve it, but you have the ability to make a decision that can have a positive impact on our community and on growth for generations to come. Any further tougher
that you would have to make if there's no water? It won't matter what the property tax rate is. It won't matter what the gross receipts tax rate is if there's no water for you. If there's no water, there's no students. We elect you to do that. Do it in good faith. I believe you've exercised due process in studying the matter. We need the water.
Thank you, Mr. Eckersley. Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Jones.
Yes, Mayor, Commissioners, I'd also like to thank the public for coming out and all the phone calls in comparison for you. When we start talking about people driving to work and now paying double for gas and those type of things, this decision is certainly not easy for us to make. And I am concerned that our more immediate issue with the inflation rate is possibly overshadowing the long term of getting the water and maybe finding a different way on this project. But it is really heavy for the past couple of days for sure on my mind and my heart to try to make the right decision for the city and the citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Jones. Appreciate your comments. We had a gentleman, I forgot your name, but we had a gentleman from the public that wants to share again. Mr. Bailey. Okay.
How many property owners is there in the community? 11,000?
Census data says that it's 14,000, nearing 15.
14,000 people to pay for the conservation of the water that is underground, and you're not going to step up your efforts to control the consumption of the water that is underground by the local farmers.
Appreciate your comments. How would you suggest that the city of Clovis control a farmer out in the county or Roosevelt County does?
Take money. And something else is going to take money is you've got this figured out. It's going to cost so many million a project. It's going to take 9 years. You better
appreciate it, sir.
It's common sense.
Appreciate it, sir.
Down that road, and I've seen it happen to all of us. Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir.
Guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're trying.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Gotcha. Thank you. I guess I introduced this item and just started talking. I think let me check with the city attorney. Was there anything from a legal standpoint that we need to be aware of or address?
Intercept agreement, and so he's down here from Albuquerque. He may have some comments. Chris and Harrigan, RBC Capital has called in for this gentleman, and the administrator of the Water Utility Authority, Mr. Ortega, is here as well. Would any of you have anything to add? I circle details from time to time. Yeah, Mr. Harrigan. Sure.
Finance authority, it will be financed over a 30-year period at a rate of 1%. Back in 2019, when that resolution was being originally considered, we estimated the borrowing rate was going to be about 3%. Today's market, it's probably closer to 3.75%, maybe even 4%. So the interest rate just not
I think
the payments will begin, and so financing.
Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that, Mr. Harrigan. While he is advising us about a next item or two, anyone have questions for Mr. Harrigan? All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners, what is your will regarding item one?
Mayor, we're going to approve them again.
Yeah.
To that versus just leaving it open-ended for our commission out in the future.
Certainly a good idea and worth discussing. Commissioner Jones, thank you. I'll have to look at the city attorney who advised us earlier, correct me if I'm wrong, that as it is, we could sunset it, but it would be a resolution by this commission to do that.
We would still need a subsequent resolution as far as I know, yes.
Okay, okay. How about his question? Can it be structured that it ends when the loan is paid off?
How you want to do
See any
body today wants to say that's your intention. I think that could be added.
Okay, thank you, Chaz. Commissioner Jones, would you approve with having had your question answered?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Any other discussion, Mayor Pro Tem or Commissioners? So we would ask that you know the final approval of adopting the resolution, which would enact, but we all get addition. Commissioner Jones, was that a motion for approval? Okay, if it wasn't, you just said yes, so.
No, it's not a motion.
Okay, all right, great. Great, okay, good deal. Any other discussion, debate, questions?
Mayor, I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the adoption of resolution number 3129-2022 with the sunsetting of the loan at the
Sunset language that we adopt resolution number 2. Is there any further debate?
At the end of this $15 million loan repayment or the end of the... I do have one question.
The end of the loan repayment. Motion for approval came from Mayor Pro Commissioner Jones, your vote, please.
Yes.
Hold on. Somebody help me. Please. Yes. That would be 8 yes.
He's a yes. He's a yes.
Oh, they had him up there. Okay, thanks, everyone. So Commissioner Dave Bryant voting in the negative. The motion is carried 7-1. And we have adopted resolution number 3129-2022. Thank you. Next is item 2, request for approval of introduction of an ordinance amending the dedication of a municipal gross receipts tax. This is, I may actually ask someone to advise on this, but this is what I had described earlier. The property tax will provide a stable revenue with which to service the debt is technically being serviced from gross receipts, and the gross receipts are being reimbursed by the property tax. But I'll let you describe.
Mayor, members of the commission, that's correct. So this is a standard form from taxation and revenue. So when you do any local option taxes, they have a form of ordinance that every municipality or county has to use. So in 1980, this particular corporate was put in under prior statutory authority, and recently that's all changed in kind of a pool. This very short amendment is specifically drafted by taxation and revenue for us to then fill in police and fire to gross receipts taxes. It would be
Mayor, Commissioners, this gross receipts dedication has been dedicated to fire and police. Again, that's the purpose of the mill, is to reimburse that and keep that whole. But I just want to point out that fire and police personal services, as you well know, because you just went through the budget approval process, but rough numbers, it's something like 15.6 million, much more than a 0.25% gross receipts would produce. So while that has been dedicated to that all these years, the general fund is funding the personal services for our employees. And so I just wanted to point that out. We are reimbursing it with the property tax and keeping it whole. Any questions?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Commissioner Casals. Second from Commissioner Garza. Any further debate? Favor, the motion is carried. Thank you. Next is request for approval of City of Clovis and the New Mexico Finance Authority. Mr. Muriel.
Yes, Mayor, members of the commission. So this ordinance, when you consider next month, if you decide to move forward with the introduction, approves the form of the loan agreement and the intercept agreement with the New Mexico Finance Authority for an amount of $15 million. At the time we would come back next month for the actual consideration, Mr. Kerrigan will have the final numbers from the Finance Authority consistent with what he's told you today. What this does is approve the formal agreement, which we'll also have at the time of adoption. So you have that. It also approves an intercept agreement, which is the normal process for the Finance Authority to intercept gross receipts tax revenue, so they go straight from taxation and revenue to the Finance Authority in the amount needed to pay debt service. So it's an administrative assistance to the city and credit comfort, I think, to the Finance Authority. It's also important to note that pledge is limited solely to that 0.25% gross receipts tax. That is the only legal pledge that the city would be making, and again, we can talk about this in any detail tonight, but certainly next month for this loan, if there's ever be things or additional credit, anything else pledged, they do not have a lien on anything other than the 0.25% gross receipts tax.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. From Commissioner Jones. It's been moved and seconded. Introduction of the ordinance as described in item 3. Any further debate?
I am
Affirmative on the last one, but then I know it said away, just like it does on this one. What is your vote, please?
my vote is yes.
Okay, so we are 7 in favor, 1 opposed. The motion is carried. Thank you, Commissioners. Mayor Pro Tem. We're on to the last item in this section this evening is request for approval. Mr. Harrigan, Mr. Muirhead, thank you. You made a long trip for this. Thank you. Item 4, request for approval of adoption of resolution number 3128-2022, committing the City of Clovis opioid settlement funds for the purpose of establishing a regional behavioral health facility in eastern New Mexico. Burrows, will you advise?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Commissioners. As you know, the City of Clovis is working with Curry against distributed opioid defendants, namely McKesson Corporation, American Source, Logan Corporation, Cardinal Health, and Janssen, and the recommendations of Johnson. Initium Health has considered and included the receipt of funds suggested that the opioid settlement funds be used for the work in relation to the creation of a regional behavioral health facility. There's approximately $1.7 million allocated for Curry County.
I have a question. Has the county adopted a resolution to put their portion of the money into this project?
I believe they did it in the last few days. Yeah, and I'm using.
I went to that and it was very well represented by all the counties that were there, and I think this is an excellent way to spend that money. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion for approval from Commissioner to hearing on resolution number Commissioner 28-2022. Commissioner Jones, your vote, please. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate nothing to deal with under unfinished business, no new business as it turns out, and so we are on to reports. First is the monthly investment report from our finance director, Ms. Leanne Melanson. Ms. Melanson.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Commissioners. We are almost done with the year. This is the 11th month, so for May, we started out at 57.9 million, ending at 59.2 million in our cash. Very brief overview. General Fund 1, 6.7 million. Solid Waste Fund 2, 2.8 million. Our environmental tax, 8.6 million. Wastewater Fund 10, 4.4 million. In local banks and 25.3 million in our state investment pool. Our interest for the month was $8,600. For our year to date, we are at just under 50,000, and our state pool did increase from 0.2903 to 0.588. This was our month, and I had just received this afternoon our gross receipts, and as Tax and Rev had, they have paid under the wrong percent for the wrong location for HB6 in their gross 8%. So in our percent higher than 2 years ago, but fortunately we are still positive, but the reality of the impact of HB6 hit us this month. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you for that report, and thank you for your excellent management of the city's finances. Any questions for Ms. Melanson? I don't believe we have any. I think everybody's probably tired and out of questions at this point. Thank you, everyone. Civil Aviation Board met on Tuesday the 7th. I unfortunately had to miss that one. If Mr. Holt is still on and had a really quick update on that one, we would take it.
Another good one to point out is that through the end of the month, we're very close to 5,000 total employments for the calendar year. And so, as we all know, as we get to that 10,000 mark, there would be additional funding to our report through the FAA. And so, we're definitely positive steps, and there's that. So, with that, I don't have any questions to answer.
Outstanding. Thank you, Mr. Howell. Appreciate that report. Yes.
And if I may, I've been working with Daniel Baylett with regard to a ribbon groundbreaking for the transmission line, and it's tentatively set for August the 2nd. We're just waiting to hear from the state.
Great.
So 1:30 at the airport. You could put that in your pencil, that into your calendars, please. Thank you.
I spoke with Mr. Baylett yesterday, and he told me about that as well. So
exciting. Exciting to see that come to this regional airport and Denver Air Connections. Next, could we have a report health feasibility meeting that took place on the 9th? Commissioner Casals, did you want to comment more on that, or who all was there?
I was there, but
Yeah.
go ahead, Claire.
Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor Pro Tem Bryant attended. Commissioner Bryant was on the line. Commissioner Garza attended. Commissioner Casas attended, and Commissioner Riley attended. So,
well, I heard that it went wonderfully. I thought I'd give the opportunity to make a comment if they like.
It went well, and it was well attended. Everybody spoke about the needs of the facility, so it's very encouraging, and we just need to figure out where we get the money.
That's a familiar story. Very good.
Used to do their events has moved away due to the military. She still has a lot of repairs that are ongoing, and they did relocate the pigeons, is what I was told. So evidently the pigeons were doing some harm to the roof. Events have gone up quite a bit, according to Misty's report, and they did have a special needs prom.
Any questions for Commissioner Casals? Very well. Future agenda items, Ms. Burrows.
All I have right now, Mayor, is for the sunset of the ad valorem property tax. And then I just have a noise variance for a birthday party, library board vacancies, memorial scholarship recipients, and we're still looking for somebody for Public Works District 2.
The public to follow the Water Authority board meetings. Recreation and Beautification Committee meets at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, June 27th. City Hall will be closed on Monday, July 4th for Independence Day. We're already to Independence Day in this year. Civil Aviation Board will meet 5:30 p.m. on Tuesday, July 5th. The next City Commission meeting will be Thursday, July 7th